Well, hey there. Let's just dive right into it, shall we? Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to decode a truly hilarious and honestly super heartwarming Brazilian cultural phenomenon. If you've ever hung out with Brazilians, or maybe you're planning a trip down there, there is this one absolutely crucial concept you really need to grasp if you want to survive a night out. We're looking at a single word that perfectly, and I mean literally perfectly, captures the incredible warmth and sociability of Brazil.
But, okay, before we get to the specific word itself, think about this for a second. Have you ever tried to say goodbye at a party, but somehow you ended up staying for like hours? Yeah, you probably know the exact feeling I'm talking about. You grab your coat, you do the whole goodbye tour, you start heading toward the door, and suddenly, bam, you're locked in this super deep conversation right by the exit. Or maybe someone hands you another plate of food. It's a totally universal social struggle, right? But in Brazil, they haven't just accepted this struggle. No way, they have actually perfected it into an absolute art form. And that art form, it's built entirely around one essential concept, the Saideira. So by its strict dictionary definition, a Saideira is the last drink or round before saying goodbye and leaving a bar, a party, or really any informal gathering. It actually comes from the Portuguese word for leaving. Sounds super simple, right? Like it sounds like a firm, logical boundary. You have the Saideira, and then you leave. Boom, done. But as we're about to see, the dictionary, it only tells half the story here. Now, what's actually really fascinating here is the brilliant contrast between the literal meaning and the cultural reality. Because strictly speaking, sure, it's the absolute final drink before heading home. But culturally, oh man, it's really just an excuse to keep the fun going a little bit longer. In true Brazilian style, the last one is basically never the actual last one. It's kind of like a placeholder, a polite little fiction that everyone just enthusiastically agrees to go along with, just so the party doesn't have to end quite yet. So let's picture how this actually plays out in real life. You're hanging out, and you might hear someone announce, "Let's have the last drink and then call it a night." Or in Portuguese, "Vamos tomar a saideira e encerrar a noite." Right? This is exactly how the ritual always kicks off. It showcases that initial, seemingly super innocent intention. Everyone nods, they agree that, yeah, it's getting kind of late, and they order that definitive final beverage. But really, it's just the grand illusion of an ending.
Because, of course, everyone totally knows the game. Your friends, the ones who know exactly how Brazilian parties actually work, they're going to be naturally skeptical. They might ask you, come on, is this the real last drink or are we staying for another one? In Portuguese, that's, vamos lá, essa é a saideira mesmo ou vamos ficar para mais uma? Because the saideira is just so rarely the actual final act, your friends will immediately start questioning if this is the real deal or just the beginning of a whole new extended phase of the night. So the absolutely crucial point to remember here is that things can, and let's be honest, they definitely will, quickly escalate. Which actually brings us to a very specific and highly amusing number, 3. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth do you have 3 of something that is, literally by definition, the last one? Well, in the context of a Brazilian gathering, it is not only mathematically possible, it's highly, highly probable. I mean, it gets to the point where an exasperated friend will finally just look at you and ask, "You've already had 3 last drinks. Are you ever going home?" Or, beautifully put in Portuguese, "Você já teve 3 saideiras. Você vai para casa alguma hora?" It just totally humorously points out the absolute absurdity of the whole situation. You've got someone repeatedly announcing their grand departure, having a so-called final drink to commemorate that departure, and then they just stay. They're just sitting there. It completely redefines the whole concept of a farewell. But let's look at how this actually builds into a much deeper cultural truth. Because the Saideira, it's not really about the drinks themselves. Actually, scratch that. It's not about the drinks at all. It reflects this deep, genuine Brazilian love for spending time with friends. It's deeply rooted in a profound desire to just enjoy the present moment to its absolute fullest. In this culture, there is literally always room for just one more. It's this wonderful testament to the warm Brazilian spirit of togetherness, where the people around you are just way too important to walk away from. All of which brings me directly to you. You want to sound like a local and really learn more about Brazilian culture and expressions because, let me tell you, understanding underlying concepts like the Saideira is the real secret sauce to mastering language. It is definitely not just about memorizing some boring vocabulary lists. It's about getting the heart, the humor, and the unspoken social rules of the entire culture behind those words. So, if you want to take this quick cultural explainer and turn it into real, actionable language skills, your absolute best next step is to study with teachers from Brazil.
It is hands down the perfect way to take your Portuguese to the next level. Plus, you can literally book your free trial class right now. Just imagine casually dropping the word Saideira at your next gathering. You are instantly going to sound like a native who truly gets the whole vibe.
Well, as we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with a final kind of provocative thought to chew on. When it comes to good times with truly great friends, is there really such a thing as just one more? The Brazilian Saideira tells us that the answer is a resounding no. And honestly, maybe that's exactly how it should be. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to decode this fantastic cultural phenomenon. Keep learning, keep enjoying those unforgettable moments with your friends, and I will see you in the next explainer.